Last year, Angel Memorial Hospital treated more than 40,000 patients, many in need of special love and care. This story is not a recreation. It begins on the streets of Boston on July 23, 1990, as a call for help sends ambulance driver Amy Knapp racing to the scene of a hit-and-run accident.
We don't have a siren in our trucks. We do have bar lights, and we use the horn a lot and pray a lot that we get there. She's supposed to be right around here. A woman called, she drove by and saw it. I don't think there's much of a difference between us and a people ambulance. We're there to do the same thing, to try to save a life. Here we go. Let me get a carrier for her.
It was just laying out there in the road when I drove up, and the lady and I pulled over.
Hi, honey. I know. She's pretty pale.
Yeah, it looks like somebody's pet. The guy that hit it just kept going on.
Yeah, they do that all the time.
All right.
Hi, hon.
I got 4 cats of my own, so thanks for coming.
Hey, thanks for sitting by her.
All right.
Once you have the animal in the truck, your blood starts pumping more.
Amy gets the cat to Angel Memorial within 8 minutes.
There's only so much that you can do, so the fastest thing to do is to get it into the hospital and let the doctors go from there. Hey, do you see in the ready room?
Here at Angel, we can see anything from a guinea pig to a snake, a dog, a cat. We see everything.
The cat that had been hit by the car was treated, and her prognosis looks good.
You want to go to the desk on the left? On the right?
Suzanne Rodriguez and her roommate bring in her ailing cat, unsure of what is wrong with him.
We've been expecting you. Great, thank you.
Dr. Alicia Fagella is one of the veterinarians on call that afternoon.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Dr. Fagella.
You got lost, the poor thing.
Oh, everybody always gets lost here, and they get a tour of Boston. Who's this?
This is Spitz. He just let go.
He was a 6-year-old cat who was referred in with a history of not being himself and not eating for several days.
All right, did they take any x-rays of Spitz at all? Okay, that's one of the things that we're going to need to do. It feels like there may be some fluid, free fluid in the abdomen.
He was suffering from some type of probable liver disease because he was so yellow.
He is a very, very sick cat. I can't tell you yet exactly what's going on, but it is very guarded prognosis right now.
X-rays are taken almost immediately.
You don't see any obvious masses in there.
There's a big liver, and if are you thinking about an ultrasound?
Yeah. Now, an ultrasound adds more to your bill. Unfortunately, we're at, a crossroads where either we try and treat or we don't want him to suffer.
An ultrasound is done to determine the severity of Spitz's liver disease.
I can't guarantee you that if you do decide to continue that we won't end up having to put him to sleep in a couple of days. Since you invested this much time and this much financial commitment, emotional commitment, I think it's certainly reasonable to at least give him the night and see how he does. Okay?
I can do that.
Okay.
There are all kinds of considerations that you're hit with, that you have to make decisions very quickly, and you want to do what's right, but
You get real attached. I've had him for 6 years, and he was like a kid. He has his own personality.
The next day, Dr. Fagella examines lab tests done on Spitz and calls Suzanne with an update.
Is this Suzanne?
You want so much to help the animal, you want so much to help these people, and yet you're dealing with a serious disease, so you don't know, can you help this cat?
I'd like to save my cat.
Right.
But I don't have the money to save my cat.
Yeah.
I want to put my cat to sleep just because I can't pay.
I know. It's a very difficult decision.
Why don't you come on in? We'll put you in a room.
Michelle Moore and her in-laws bring in her puppy Shane, who had swallowed something, to Dr. Joyce Gifford.
Okay, so why don't you tell me when this whole thing started?
And they took him to the vet.
We thought it might have been something we fed him because he eats table food.
Mm-hmm.
And then she called, said that he was passing something.
Okay.
And so we came down, and he had, like I said, denial on about that long.
Okay. Dogs that are around a year old like to eat foreign bodies, and sometimes they pass and sometimes they don't. This is a real common problem with puppies.
Really?
They eat everything and get into everything. You wouldn't believe it, we put into them.
I had put the dog out into the yard, and he went to go move his bowels, and this is when the nylon was hanging out, and I was like, oh God, I knew something was wrong. I thought he was just gonna die, you know, unless they did something quick.
I'm going to take Shane from you and get started. We're going to put a catheter in him and get fluids, and then we'll get our x-rays. And by that time, you'll be home, and then we'll give you a call and let you know what we found. Okay? There you go. Come on, little guy. Come on, little guy. You'll be fine. I know that dog's scaring you. I know that dog's scaring you. You're dealing with one patient whose medical needs you have to address, but you're dealing with people who are emotionally distraught and who absolutely adore their animals. It's not a replaceable item, as sometimes people think pets are. It's a family member, and you have to really always be aware of that.
The puppy is immediately prepared for surgery.
Shane's problem can be life-threatening if it goes on long enough. The foreign body can cause peritonitis. If they don't have surgery immediately, and even with surgery, we can lose them because of the infection.
Shortly after checking up on Spitz, Dr. Fagella gets a call from his owner, Suzanne.
I know you do. I know. And I know it's very hard for you because there's nothing you could have done to prevent this disease from happening, and you gave him every chance. So, okay. Some days it's very hard. There have been days that I have just broke down and cried. And you know it's the best thing for the animal. I can tell that from a medical standpoint, but it doesn't make it easy.
All right. Okay, you were a good boy, weren't you, huh? You were a very good boy. Yes. You had a very good life. It's all right. Good boy. You just go to sleep. There you go. All right, Spitz.
I was sad. I felt sad for her because she loved this cat so much. I felt sad for him, too, for the cat. You know, he certainly had a very good life, and it's a horrible disease, but all of a sudden, we're at the end.
Thanks, Tony.
In the operating room, Dr. Michelle Kudish performs the delicate surgery on Shane.
We see any number of animals that come in after eating rocks and corn cobs and things like tinsel at Christmas time. Yep, it's pantyhose, all right. Hopefully the owners will be a little bit more aware now of what they can and can't allow this puppy to play with.
The surgery itself went very, very well. Got the whole pantyhose out.
What kind of pantyhose was it?
No idea. It was all bunched up, and I had to cut it. It was not. I don't think it was a full pantyhose.
How was your day today?
For Suzanne Rodriguez, her roommate Gail Mahoney, and Gail's cat Cooper Black, adjusting to life without Spitz hasn't been easy.
Under the bed. He's been meowing a lot lately, too.
It's only been 2 days, but I can still feel him around the house. I couldn't go any further with treatment because they couldn't guarantee that my cat would ever get better, and I just really couldn't afford to spend thousands of dollars, and I really didn't want it to come down to that kind of situation, but I knew I had to do it this way. I knew I had to be fair, and I think I made the right decision. I know he's okay now.
A beloved pet is a great love in a person's life, and I myself know what it means to lose someone like that. They provide warmth and unqualified devotion in a way that no human being can.
After 2 days in intensive care, Shane is ready to go home.
Here he is. Hi, Mama. Look at you. You don't realize how close and attached you can get to an animal, not just a dog, but any animal. You know, you think some people are crazy because they go nuts over a bird or a cat or whatever, but he's a really good dog. Proud of my dog. Hello, hello. That hospital, I swear by it. God forbid anything ever happens again. I wouldn't even think twice to take them there. They were wonderful, wonderful. There you go. Oh, my dog. Good boy.